So Rode just unveiled some brand new products and I'm excited for them. I believe this is actually going to be really good for streamers, gamers, and smaller content creators. One of these is geared more towards streamers, I believe, but I really feel like y'all are going to enjoy this. Let's take a look and dive in. For context with Rode, I'm actually using their Podcaster Pro 2 and I'm actually using their PodMic from Rode. So I actually do have a little bit of experience with Rode. Haven't really used their camera microphones, but that's not really the point. So we're going to start with the small one first. They just launched the Rode Streamer X. The Streamer X is actually a 1 XLR unit, but unlike most of the other Rode products, this one includes video pass-through. So this will actually take in video up to 4K 60 and will also still allow pass-through. So if you're trying to bring in a console that you're working with, you can do that. Or if you just wanted to bring in your camera, you can do that too, because it can handle the 4K signal. This is definitely one of those products that's geared more towards streamers, because it's just 1 XLR, so you only got the 1 mic, but you do have your different pads for voice effects, and I would imagine some music and stuff like that maybe it can trigger, and you'll have different banks. But for streamers, I feel like this was going to be really good, because you're basically kind of combining a Scarlett and a capture card all into one unit, and then you just run one USB to your computer and just use that. Now, they haven't unveiled prices for any of these yet. I would imagine this probably about the $300 to $400 mark. I could be wrong. $30 to $400 sounds about right, considering you're combining 2 different kinds of units into one. Also, I apologize now if everything just sounds weird. I haven't really slept yet, but it's fine. We have caffeine. All right, the next product we're looking at is actually the Rode Podcaster Duo. So with the Pro 2, you get 4 XLRs. The Duo, they actually knocked that down to 2, but it is smaller, so it does save space on your desk, but it does have fewer pads, which the pads are mostly like sound effects, voice effects, stuff like that. Now, I'm curious as to exactly how the pads are going to work, because as of right now, I have 2, 4, 6, 8. As of right now, I have 8 pads and 3 different banks. So 8, 6, and 24. That's 24 options. I'm curious what they'll do with this one since it has less pads. If it'll just still be 3 banks, or maybe they'll add an extra bank or something like that. But this one I do feel like will be for most people. Most people, you hardly ever need more than 2 XLR inputs. It's just more focusing, kind of going towards the Scarlett 2x2. Then you get more functionality because you can actually put your computer volume on one, game volume on a different one, stuff like that. And then you can actually separate those out. So that would actually be really cool, because the Rodecaster Pro 2, I haven't really used more than 2, because I say I have the extra stuff to empower all my future endeavors, but I've also been saying that for the last 2 years, so we're just going to leave it at that. I'm very irresponsible with money. Don't be like me. Be smarter than me. Listen to the Graham Steffens. But I feel like this product will be one of Rode's more popular units, especially just because most people only need 2, and plus you'll still have your computer volume, stuff like that. Now this I estimate closer to the $500 mark, because the Pro 2 is at $700. So cutting part of that off, so $450 to $500 I would think, which, like I said, we'll see once they actually unveil pricing, and then we'll kind of see what happens there. Now, one last product I want to showcase, the PodMic that I'm using, it's great. They brought out a USB version of this mic. So instead of requiring you to have an XLR interface, you can actually just use it with USB. So my plan is I'm probably going to pick one of these up for my wife, because I can just keep this towards my desk. And then whenever we want to end up doing podcasts in the future, she can actually just run her XLR into my Rodecaster, and then she can end up taking that later and just run it with her computer to do singing, voice lessons, or whatever she's going to do, because she's very much into music. She actually she went to school for a music degree, stuff like that. So I'm actually more intrigued with that. So out of all this, I'll probably end up buying one of those. Like I said, be more financially responsible than me. Don't go into credit card debt.
Cause I have $30,000 in credit card debt.
Yeah, these are really cool products. I'm really excited to see how people end up using them once they come out. I feel like they'll definitely help some creators in the industry. But they also unveiled some other stuff you can always check out. They made a backpack for the rodecaster, and plus they also did some upgrades with the wireless microphones. You can actually integrate these now into the rodecaster after the firmware they release. So that'll actually be really cool to do. But I don't have these to test out, so maybe one day in the future. But feel free to leave a like on the video. It really helps the YouTube algorithm. But Rode is making some moves for the audio side of content creators. I'm excited to see what else they end up doing and how this ends up being implemented with streamers, gamers, and content creators. Because I've spent majority of the money I need to with the Procaster, but most people don't need this much beefy power. I'm glad to see smaller options for people that don't need that much or have like $700 to just drop on one unit. Leave your comments down below what you think. If you have any suggestions or anything else you want me to cover, let me know, and I will catch you guys in the next one.